name is Spencer Hennigan. I'm the Director of Operations at ApexX. Today we'll be going over the pre-trip planning for any day in skiing in the backcountry. We'll be going over in this portion avalanche problems, weather, and tour planning.
Awesome. My name is Rick Gockel. I'm a lead guide for the Avalanche Level 1 experiential course, and I'll be assisting today with Spence on going over our tour plan.
So Rick and I today we're going to go backcountry skiing, and this is kind of a typical plan of what we're doing and planning out our trip for today. So we are planning on skiing in Rocky Mountain National Park, and we are looking at our weather and kind of identifying some red flags for today. So I think the first thing we should do is go over our avalanche concerns for today. What do you think?
Awesome, sounds good.
Yeah.
So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the internet here, and in Google I can type in CAIC, which is the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, and they actually give an awesome detailed report on our avalanche concerns for the day. And also when I get into that, I'm actually make sure it's the Front Range, because that's the area that we're going to be going into.
Yeah.
All right, now that we are on the CAIC Avalanche Bulletin Report, we're going to look at highlights. We're going to look at avalanche danger. We're also going to look at snow and avalanche discussion. And we're going to look at the weather discussion for the elevation that we are at. And finally, we'll look at the weather forecast. So it looked like over the last 24 hours, so we picked up about 4 to 6 inches of new snow. And about another 2 to 4 inches potentially may fall today. The other thing is westerly winds are going to be strong enough to transport new snow and potentially thicken wind slabs that were formed earlier in the week. This is something we got to kind of be concerned about, because talking about in the highlights, it says you can also trigger wind slabs up to 2 feet thick, which actually would be something that we really need to be aware of, because 2 feet thick wind slab has the potential to hurt us. These are going to be on wind-loaded slopes about 35 degrees and steeper, and north through east to southeast aspects above tree line. Near tree line, there's still a possibility of us actually interacting with a persistent hard slab or a deeper layer that is over a very weak snowpack or a very weak layer that's near the ground.
So looking into our specific avalanche danger, we're looking here at our 5-day previous kind of rows and trends. So you can see that we've had considerable avalanche terrain on the north and northeast aspects, and that's because we've had a lot of wind coming in from the south and southwest, just as Rick was talking about. But as you can see, we are considerably getting more into our yellow zone and having more moderate avalanche terrain. But I think considering today and our avalanche danger, that skiing west and southwest slopes is going to be the most pertinent place to ski for today, to stay out of avalanche terrain.
Great, so as we continue on down the site, we go in snow and avalanche discussion. This is kind of really recapping what we've gathered, or the information that we've gathered from the highlights, as well as the compass rose up here. And we're looking at west to northwest winds have increased a bit overnight, and this will continue today. And that's something for us to really be concerned about. Anytime snow, or anytime there's wind that's great enough to transport snow, can create a wind slab and can create a problem, or an avalanche problem for us. There is plenty of snow from these last couple of storms that have the ability to still transport into different lead-loaded areas. Human-triggered slabs are talking about here in the storm layer are a concern. These slides can step down into older snowpack, which is comprised of buried weak layers, strong layers over weak layers that could potentially create a lot larger avalanche for us. So that's something that we would definitely need to keep an eye on. And that's really mostly at tree line or near tree line into above tree line. Once again on that compass rose that's up here, from north aspect all the way down through the southeast aspect.
So talking about our weather discussion here for 11,000 feet, that really goes over and paints a picture for what's going on in the state. And this is important for knowing what's going on in our exact area of the Front Range, but what's going to be more pertinent is going over the weather forecast for today. So what we're going to be looking at is the temperature, the wind speed, and the wind direction. The sky cover, it's going to be mostly cloudy today, and we're expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow. But what I'm looking at here is the wind speeds of having 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 30. And that has the potential of moving a lot of snow, and that's what we're looking for. More importantly, with that wind, we're looking at where that wind direction is coming from, which is northwest, which means it will be falling on the southeast. So I think that's something we definitely need to pay attention for the rest of the day, seeing when and where that snow is coming from and how that will load. So the second part of our pre-trip planning is our tour plan. And within this we go over goals as a team of what we want to do, and today we want to go out and evaluate snow and some snow terrain and possibly make some ski turns. We are going to go over different paths that we can go, different ski lines, and evaluating that terrain as we get out there. Identifying some potential dangers that we can see beforehand, and then outlining those as we move in that terrain as well. And then just kind of how we travel as a team and seeing how we want to work together out there.
So today we're going to be driving up this road, and we're going to be parking at this trailhead. And there is actually our first kind of point of some observations that we can take. Just looking around, seeing are we seeing blowing snow? Has anything changed in terms of temperature, rate of snow? Just some different things that we can actually evaluate right in the parking lot. And then I think our thought is to tour up, kind of heading west along these two lakes and up into this drainage here. And then areas that I would probably be concerned about or I'd like to avoid is this area actually here is north facing, and actually some fairly steep terrain. So that sort of correlates to potential avalanche danger for today. So I'd like to kind of keep a buffer zone or safe distance from that, but there's some areas that we can actually evaluate how the snowpack is interacting in that north facing area. Also touring up along farther, there are some south and southeast aspects along that area that have a little bit kind of going in between the moderate and considerable range and places that we can evaluate. These over here, these are really big terrain features that pile up a lot of snow, and actually there are some slide paths that I know of in this area, so that's something for us to kind of make sure that we can evaluate from a safe distance.
Perfect.
How does that sound?
That sounds good. Looks like we have a plan of where we're going to go evaluate. Maybe some potential places to poke around the snow, and looks like a good day.